Hi, Nick Osborne with the Personal Training Department Blueprint, back with our final system that you need to implement to create unbelievable sales, to create loyal customers, loyal trainers, and a team that really works well on purpose, all while reducing your stress. I know it sounds like a magic pill, but there's a lot of work involved in this. So let's talk about the systems one more time. We're going to review all of them up to today. Sales system. Your trainers don't know how to sell. You got to have a system in place to train them how to sell. 2, you need a professionalism system. Otherwise, your trainers don't know. They really need to show up and be professionals every day, what that means and what's entailed with it. So you got to teach them. These are the things that we need to do to be professionals in our industry. Number 3 is a marketing system. Trainers don't know how to sell, but they're really not even marketing. So you need to have marketing systems in place. In that video, we gave you a ton of things to do each and every week, each and every day, and for the entire month to make sure that you're successful marketing your training correctly so that the member wants to get involved and the trainer has a better opportunity asking for the sale. Number 4, again, life coaching. You got to have a life coaching system. It doesn't need to be in-depth. We're not going to play psychologists, but we are going to talk about getting your members held accountable to what they need to do, how they need to do it, setting some goals regularly. So once they reach one goal, we're on to the next one, and we're starting to work on the next one before we're even finished with the first one. So life coaching, getting that client to own up and be accountable to what they do when they're not with us so they don't fire us because they haven't stopped eating Twinkies. Number 5, big for owners and managers, hiring system. You got to have a hiring system in place to make sure you're getting the right people on your team, in your club, so that you can work with them and make everybody more successful. After you've done all that, you got to make sure that you're having regular staff meetings. So we gave you a system for having staff meetings. Number 7 was exercise system. You got to have some sort of belief system in your club that's dependent on the club, not on the trainer. Build this, it's worth it, or buy it, one of the two, because it's where the industry has gone, especially Group X. If you think about that over the last 20 years, what happened? We didn't think that aerobics instructors in the 1980s would ever let people tell them what to do. Now we've got Les Mills, Booty Pump, Flirty Girl, you name it. We've got a system or 20 systems that will take the Group X instructor into being more professional, makes it more about the club and the client and less about the trainer, or at this point it would be the Group X instructor. But we need to do the same thing, because the more systems you have in place, the more people feel secure about what you're doing as a club and want to invest more money. If it's all about just the trainer generally has too much of an ego. They're focused on the wrong thing. The client doesn't want to spend money, because what happens if the trainer leaves? There's no system in place. The client doesn't want to buy from just one trainer. They want to buy from the club. We get that all the time. People in the area that used to work with a trainer, but they left that club, and now they don't know what to do, and they don't want to go back to the club, so they come to us and then they realize they can trade trainers. They can work with one trainer on Monday and another trainer on Wednesday and a third trainer on Saturday, and nobody cares. They're all following the same system. They're hiring people for different reasons. They're hiring based on personality, not on exercise. They're hiring based on time availability. They're hiring based on whether they want to work one-on-one or group. All of that is more important than whether they're hiring one person based on their exercise system, or they really like this guy's, the results that they get, but they're really scared of kettlebells and ropes, or this guy's a bodybuilder, but he's the only person involved that is available at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursdays. Whatever. Have everybody have an exercise system, a belief system, something that we follow through with and we do regularly, so we can get in and get good measurements, get good results, and guarantee results for our clients. The last system that we talked about in our last video was team building. If we want to reduce our stress and effectiveness as a gym, as a manager, we need to have a team working for us. We need to have a team that we're part of. So having team building systems in place is going to be huge for more effective with less effort. Okay? What we're going to talk about today is training, educating, and onboarding our trainers. If we've got all these other systems in place, we got to have a way to actually train the trainers. And this is huge. One of the things that you need to have right off the bat is either a staff handbook, but at minimum, an employment contract that tells the trainer exactly what their job is. Now, we as owners or managers just expect the trainer to know what their job is, but for the most part, they don't know. They don't know what that you expect out of them. So having an employment contract that says, this is what your job is. This is how you get paid. This is how you don't get paid. If you don't have contracts filled out correctly, you're not getting paid. You don't service a client, this is how you're not going to get paid. How do you get a raise? What's your percentage? All that needs to be spelled out. Don't just say you're getting hired, you're getting paid $12 an hour to be a personal trainer here, or $50 an hour, or whatever it is. Get there, you got to show up as a professional, you got to dress correctly. This is what on time means. This is what you can't do working here, and you can't sell your own supplements off to the side. All of these things need to be in the contract to protect you as a business owner and to allow the trainer to know what rules they're operating by, okay? You need to have training in place. Training is there to make everybody successful. If you as a manager don't want to train, maybe you don't have anything to train them on. Maybe you don't know what to train them on. You better figure it out, because training and role playing are huge to being successful. If you want to see why training is going to be a key to the manager and owner making the trainer successful, go read a book called The Dip by Seth Godin. Two things that you can take away from that book. One, if you're not striving to be the best, get out. Because there's no place for people who are decided to be third place trainers or third place personal training departments. There's no way. You might not be the best, but you should be working to be the best all the time. And if that's too much work for you or your trainers, get out. The second thing, because it's just not worth it financially for anybody. It's more frustrating than what it's worth. The second thing is there's this thing called the dip in almost every industry. We should see it as managers and owners. That's when the trainers get hired. They're enthusiastic, they just got their certification, they're really excited to come in, and you see a rise in their attitude. They're really trying a lot, but they might not be as successful right off the bat. They don't have systems in place, they don't know what to do, so their enthusiasm and their success in their mind starts dropping off. That's the dip. You see this rise, then you see the fall. And when you see that fall, the longer that dip lasts, the more people fail. Even our good people fail. I talked at one point about different personality styles. The people that are not the assertive types, they tend to fail longer in that because they need systems in place to make them successful. So our job as a manager or owner is to have these systems in place, then train the staff to make them successful so that dip is shorter and not as severe, so we keep more good people in our industry, more good people working for us. It'll also, having better training and more training eliminates that bad trainer and the trainers quitting because of lack of knowledge. Believe it or not, just because a trainer has certification doesn't mean they know what they're doing. So having training in place will make them better at sales, make them more professional, get them to market better. But you got to train them how to do it. You got to train them how to be comfortable being a life coach or a fitness life coach. You got to train them on an exercise system. A lot of times trainers get certified and they truly don't know how to link exercises together to create a system. They're really good at watching a YouTube video and putting a lot of exercises together, making our clients, sweat a lot, breathe real heavy, lay on the ground, but there's not a system that's going to get them results. We also need to teach them in our training how we operate as a team. Because we can do that, we're creating teammates as we go. We want to create that awesome trainer, but we only can create the awesome trainers if we have a training system for them. If you have that training system, you're creating a path for success for the trainers. And every time that you have a trainer go through it, you can refine that education system for them, making the trainer more and more successful as you go. Now, we provide that for you. We have in our 2 levels, our Fat Loss Department Blueprint, there's 18 weeks of education for the trainer. Think about that. 18 weeks with an average of 4 lessons per week. How educated would your trainers be? Then you go to the IFCS level, the Integrated Functional Coach level, and you're talking about 40-some levels, 40-some weeks of training with an average of 4 lessons per week. How awesome would your trainers be at that point? The most educated in the area? Would you have systems in place for everything? That's what we're talking about. You can go create the same system if you want. You've got all the information. You need to go create it. Training and onboarding also goes to offering a consistent product to the member. You don't want to have a wildly different offering between trainers. You got to have educated trainers and everybody be a minimum of a certain level of education with a certain amount of information to be successful. You also have to have a system to onboard the trainers into actually training your members. How does a trainer who's just hired, who might have just got their certification, who's 24 years old, how do they compete with selling training against trainers who have been in your club for 12 years, who's 32 years old and a lot more experience? You got to have a system in place. We have a 21-day sale for that new trainer to onboard them in. We have a system to introduce them to every single member, and you need to have that in place also. So if you can have a staff introduction system, it's going to be able to onboard that trainer so that they make money faster and have less stress, stick in your system longer, stick in your club longer, help your members longer, be more successful, be more loyal to you. So that's what these systems are going to do. You're going to get all the information to the trainer in an easy to follow format. Now the way that we do it is we have PDFs and videos online. The staff can watch them on their smartphone, on a tablet, on a computer, whatever they need to do. They download the PDF, they fill it out, and they basically create their own staff handbook. So they always have an idea of what they should be doing. It's all in writing. All the lessons that you can go back and watch them again, but you need to figure out how you want to do it. If you want to hand train each one of them for 2 hours a day, twice a week, that's up to you. We make it really simple for you, but you got to have a way that trains the staff quickly and effectively in a way that they can follow and that they can pick up on. That's really key to making a lot more money. You got to have that staff training system. Because if you don't, you can put all the other systems in place, but if a staff doesn't know how to do it or implement it or learn it, it's worthless. Okay? Your staff has to learn and know what to do. That's one of the reasons why people hire the integrated functional coaching systems. So again, how much more money? Is it really worth it? If we buy the IFCS, is it really worth it? Let's just talk about money for a while. And you don't even have to buy us. You can put all the systems in place. Is it worth it financially? If you've got a 2,000 person club with just a 15% penetration, you should be making $720,000 every year from personal training. However, let's say you have at least a 5% penetration, which most clubs would kill to have a 5% penetration. The average client spends $175 per month. At 2,000 members, you're only making $210,000 a year in personal training. That means every single year, you are missing over $500,000 in revenue. I think that's worth putting 9 systems in place. You'll have bulletproof systems, and that's just from your personal training department, not even touching membership. Having a better personal training department brings more people in and keeps your members longer. And it keeps people from going to your competitors. So this personal training revenue doesn't even take into account your gym revenue and the increase in stability in that and the marketing ability you have. If you have these 9 systems in place and you can guarantee results, you can market that in a way that nobody else can. I think it's worth it. So come back at the end with our next video. We're going to put a special offer together for you guys. My name's Nick Osborne, helping you put systems in place to make a lot more money and to help you stay in business longer and help your trainers make a lot more money.